All right, how y'all doing? Well. Packed house. Love to see it. So it's just us. Let's have some fun. I'm just going to sing a little bit for you guys. Play a little bit. This is a song called "Be Grateful." It's by Walter Hawkins. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Be grateful. Be grateful. God has not promised me sunshine. That's not the way it's going to be, but a little rain mixed with God's sunshine, a little pain makes me appreciate the good times. Be grateful, yeah. For it will be all right. For it will be all right. Yep. Thank you, guys. So that was a song by a gospel music great. His name is Walter Hawkins. And yeah, he's amazing. And this is another gospel great.
My name is Matt. I'm one of the ministers here, as many of you already know, and it's my privilege to welcome you to Jazz Vespers this evening. This is an opportunity for us to gather together, enjoy the beautiful music, enjoy this sacred space, and to worship. It's a little loud. As you may have gathered from the opening tune, the theme tonight is gratitude and being grateful for all the blessings that are around us. And so I'm going to begin tonight with a verse from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 18. Give thanks in all things and be grateful in all circumstances. You know, it's so easy for us to take things for granted, to look around and miss all of the good things that are around us. And so tonight, as Calvin and I talked about a month ago and looked ahead to tonight and said, let's let's have a theme that sort of connects the dots for our time. We thought about all the good stuff, and we talked about giving thanks and being grateful. And so as you're listening to the music tonight, think about all the good stuff around you and give thanks for the good things we have. I want to introduce who's here tonight and who's playing before I wreck the stage. We have on bass, who you'll meet in just a second, Adam Jones, who I had the privilege of hearing. Yeah, Adam Jones. I had the privilege of hearing this group as they're warming up, and you all are in for a treat. Just over here, Charles Brown, no relation to Calvin Brown, is on drums. And as you know, our esteemed saxophonist from within the UBC family, Bobby Gregg. And Calvin's going to introduce, we have another guest musician who'll be playing with them a little bit later, and he'll introduce him when it's time for him to play. But Calvin Brown is keeping all the pieces together and the leader of the band.
All right, so we're going to start off with this tune is by Horace Silver. He was a jazz pianist. I believe it's like he's Cape Verdean. And this song has a little bit of a vibe to it. It's called Song for My Father. All right. One, two, Thanks. That tune was called Song for My Father, and this one is called In Walked Bud, and it's funny because I think of Thelonious Monk as a sort of father to me, because he was just a weirdo. Like he wasn't a weirdo. That's the wrong word to use, but he was a very eclectic and interesting kind of character, and I relate to him a lot. And he liked to find the kind of like the most obvious way to get a thing done, but also the weirdest way to get a thing done on the piano. You know what I mean? Like he would do a lot of like weird things, and just like you just have to check him out. Thelonious Monk sounds like a mad scientist kind of music. Anyway, yeah, please. Get out of here! Oh my gosh! Really? Wow! No idea. That's crazy. Wow. Okay. What? That's awesome. Okay. All right, so this is called In Walked Bud, and Bud Powell is another, one of the first solos I transcribed was a Bud Powell solo. Bud Powell is another really, really influential jazz pianist, another architect of the music we call bebop, which is a style of jazz music. Okay, so In Walked Bud. Charles on the drums, y'all. Adam on the bass. And that was Bobby on the tenor saxophone. Yep. Piano player, boo. So it's funny, man. This I guess we picked songs that are just iconic in one way or the other. This is one that's called Night Dreamer, and it's by Wayne Shorter. And if you know who Wayne Shorter is, you know he's just like, he's amazing. He passed away really recently, and he always was really big on mentorship. I think he has a record out right now with Esperanza Spalding, who is not up and coming anymore, but she's amazing. She's just amazing. And anyway, so this is Night Dreamer by Wayne Shorter. That was fun. So now we have a very special guest, Dean Tennant. Give it up for him. Y'all go for Dean one more time. It's incredible. Yes, Dean was a student of mine, so extra proud, see students, just do well. This next tune is actually another Wayne Shorter tune, and it's called Infant Eyes. And I don't know what this means to him, but what it means to me is it's important to see the world from a fresh and a childlike place sometimes, and to maintain that wonder and curiosity, even just about music or about life or whatever. Just be curious about it, and I think things will just go better. So that's what it means to me. But this song is called Infant Eyes, and yes, it's by Wayne Shorter. All right. Cool. Well, if you're enjoying yourself, you are welcome to make a donation. The way we're able to do this in a fair way is through support. So I just encourage you all to, if you had a good time, you paid so much to get in here, you may as well. Don't you? Kidding. So yeah, if you there, I guess there's something in the back or something where you can support. Boxes in the back, sure, where you can support just the music, because these guys, we all drove from Richmond. Bobby, is here by the grace of God. Wait, from where? Sure, yes, by way of this beautiful. Okay, so anyway, yeah, just a little PSA. So this is, I think it's time. Is it maybe time for your? Do you want to do one more? Or do you want me to sit down? It's up to you. Okay. What time is it? It says do one more. Okay. Huh? So, okay, cool, sure. So let's do Bolivia. This is a tune by a great pianist. His name is Cedar Walton. Yes. All right. 2, 1, 2.
You guys are awesome. Fantastic. I'm going to use your stand, all right? You know, anytime you give a congregation a choice, do you want more music or the preacher to stand up? There's a consistency in the response. You don't have to go too far. You're coming back. Oh, it's just the two. Okay, sorry. Okay. Calvin was right. His PSA was spot on. This is possible through people's support, and so if you do like what you see, we do appreciate any contributions toward Jazz Vespers. But the most important thing you can do, if this has been meaningful to you, is to tell other people about it. We're going to be back July 21st. This is on the third Sunday of each month, and we'll be back here on July 21st at 7 p.m. And the number one thing you can do to make sure this continues to happen is to come back and bring somebody with you. So that's my PSA, is tell others about it. You know, it's so amazing how we look around and see the world around us. And I mentioned this at the beginning during my welcome, how we can take things for granted and we can miss the blessings around us. Many times during our Jazz Vespers, I've talked about the communication that takes place between the musicians. And for those who've been to Jazz Vespers before, you may notice that they did a little rearranging this time. Bobby is often over here, and he was down here today. And that's because the communication that takes place to make this music possible requires them to actually be able to communicate with one another. And so he tried a different setup so that he could hear a little more clearly what Calvin was doing. And so much of life is like that. We look around and we don't communicate. We don't communicate what's good. We don't communicate to others what we appreciate. And last month after our Vespers service, I was talking with Calvin and I told him a story about our piano at home. And he said, "You've got to share that story." And I thought about it, and that's really what morphed into this theme of gratitude. See, for those who don't know, pianos are not all the same. When we had first moved back to Virginia from living somewhere far away, someone very generously and graciously gave us a piano, which was great. I loved to sit and play it, and Dean then started taking lessons. My son Dean, recordame, everybody? Yeah. He was taking lessons on this freebie piano, and it was a kind of sort of a grand piano. And as he started to get a little bit more serious about it, I said to our tuner, "Can you bring this thing up to A440, which is the concert pitch?" It was running pretty flat. And he said, "I can, but it won't stay there." He said, "This is what we call a piece of furniture." And I appreciated the honesty. But at the time, I was also aware of another unused piano in my life. I was pastor of another church, not this one, and in that church there were these two different fellowship halls kind of adjacent to one another, and there was a piano in each one. One of the halls was the room that we used for a midweek kind of a contemporary service. And that piano got used every single Wednesday. And it was, and again, this gets into the intricacies of pianos. It was a Baldwin upright. Nothing wrong with it. It was okay. It was fine. In the other fellowship hall was another upright piano. And to my eye and to my ear, it was a gorgeous instrument. It was a Steinway, like same people who made this incredible instrument. And so I thought we should be using this Steinway. This was independent of the furniture piano that I had at home. And so I swapped the two pianos. Well, that didn't go over well. If you've ever been to a church before, you know that change is one of the things that people don't tend to love. And the pianist said, I can't play this instrument. I don't like this. So we switched them back. And it was around then that I had this conversation with our tuner. I had come to the realization that we really did need a better quality instrument at home. And so around then, our church had a church council meeting. And I said, the other piano, the one that never gets any use, the one that no one really likes, that one, I'd like to make a contribution to the church if I could have that piano. You're willing to give money for that? I will. I will. And so I thought, and I had actually consulted with the tuner at that point and said, I'll make a contribution to the church of $500. Several people guffawed. One offered to sell me a bridge. They thought this was the dumbest deal ever, but they voted unanimously to approve this. So without any further ado, I gathered some guys from the church and we moved that piano to my house, and I had the tuner come and work it out, and it was in fantastic condition. I had a treasure, and it was so easy to take for granted this treasure that had come into my life, because that piano has been a part of so much of our lives over the last probably 15 years or so. In the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus told his listeners not to judge other people. This happens in Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. And then he told them to avoid the temptation to correct other people. So don't judge, and don't go around correcting them. Don't tell them when they've got a speck in their eye because you have a log in yours. And I was tempted at that time to judge the people for ignoring that valuable treasure in their midst. I was tempted to say, are you crazy? You want this teeny other piano to be the one that we use every week, and you've got this incredible instrument that you just want to ignore, and you want to make fun of me for wanting to buy it? What if God was working in that situation, though? See, Jesus' injunction to not judge and to not go around correcting people is a way for us to take a step back and maybe look at the world with a more appreciative view. I've written songs on that piano. I played it a lot. My son Dean went from a beginning piano student to someone who was able to join this esteemed band tonight on that piano. The incredible musician Ken Miedema, the performer who was at our church, when he was at our house, he sat at that piano and gave some pointers also to Dean. It's been an incredible blessing to me and my piano, me and my family. Thank you. You're with me. After Jesus warned against judging, he said, "Do not give what is holy to dogs. Do not throw your pearls before swine. They'll trample them underfoot and turn and maul you." Alongside the bigger context in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus was saying that we shouldn't be hypocritical judges. We shouldn't look at those around us and look down on them. We shouldn't tell people when they need to get their act together when we still have work to do ourselves. Jesus wants us to be discerning, to use wisdom, And there are going to definitely be people who don't get the point. And when you recognize it, don't waste your time. Don't throw your pearls before pigs, because they're not going to understand it. Our service tonight is all about being grateful. And I'm grateful for not only that piano, but the music that it's brought into my life and the incredible blessing it's been to my family. Not piano. I don't judge how we came to have it or look down on those who didn't know what they had. But I'm just thankful that God works in the midst of so many different situations. And God is at work in situations all around us all the time. And for that, we can be grateful. We can have a grateful heart. So for you tonight, as you listen to this final tune, what are blessings in your life that may have come in an unusual way? Maybe things that you didn't see God working in the midst. Each one of us has things like that. We just need to open our eyes so that we can see them. The final song that Calvin and Bobby are going to be playing is Give Thanks. It's actually in the hymnal in front of you. It's number 647 in the hymnal. You can follow along in the words. It's the same music they're going to be using. But you may not. You may sing along or not sing along. But let's give thanks.
I'll sing first, then you can play it. Okay. So you, give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. Give thanks with a grateful heart. Give thanks to the Holy One. Give thanks because He's given Jesus Christ, His Son. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. And now let the weak say, I am strong. Let the poor say, I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give thanks. And now, let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich. Is because of what God has done for us. And now let the weak say I am strong. Let the poor say I am rich because of what the Lord has done for us. Give